Able to see my beautiful face all big. Welcome to episode 11 of Cinema Curse. Tonight, I want to talk about a little movie called SAW-X, the 10th and latest installment in the Saw horror franchise that's gotten a pretty shockingly great reception. Marcy says, I hope someone's VTubing his Jigsaw in a baseball cap. You're gonna be, yeah, when we cut to Bobby, you're gonna be excited. And I don't really have anything that cheeky to say. I couldn't think of jokes. I was just very,
I give Saw 10 2 disembodied feet up. Wait, am I supposed to rate it yet?
No, not yet. Right now I'm introing the show. The show as a whole. I don't have anything cheeky to say because I've genuinely, since I and a lot of the people here started doing this like several months ago now. This was like on my radar. Like, I'm so excited for the SAW-TACULAR, and we're here. So we're talking SAW-X and the Saw series. I'm your wicked game master, Connor Lloyd Crews, and joining me today...
Hey, it's Daniel.
And...
Hi, it's Robert.
and...
My video is messing up, but this is the voice of Alex coming from Homer Simpson's disgusting bathroom.
Yeah, I don't know. You're the ghost. It's like there's like Vaseline been smeared on your video.
I sometimes have tape on there. I think there's some tape gunk, but cleaning it just seems to make it worse.
It's very mysterious. It's very enigmatic.
It works. An appropriate episode for that to happen too.
You can just think of me as Jigsaw of this episode.
The Joey Chestnut of talking about movies, Edwin Gomez, couldn't make it. I'm not sure exactly where he is.
Man, Edwin was my favorite.
I'm getting
he gave the most direct. Usually he has some adventure, and today was just like, I haven't seen those movies.
I'm getting a.
Well, that's a good response.
I'm getting a call from him. Hello. Hello, Edwin? Hey, Edwin? I think we can hear him, but he can't hear us.
Edwin!
It sounds like the sound of him picking up a tape recorder and pressing play on it.
Hello, Edwin. I want to play a game. All your life, you've been watching movies. But tonight, if you cannot demonstrate the will to survive, it is the movies that will watch you here, in your tomb. In front of you is a TV VCR combo. Inside, a VHS tape of Weekend at Bernie's 2, a movie you claim to hate and yet have never seen. The game is simple. You must watch Weekend at Bernie's 2 in its entirety.
Hold on.
Or you will remain here, buried alive, with thousands of your physical media surrounding you. Like the pharaohs of old. Live or die. Make your choice.
Go to hell.
Uh-oh.
I don't think you were really talking to Edwin.
Oh no, they hang up. Who knows what could happen?
I don't think that was really Edwin. I think that was a soundboard machine.
I don't think so. I think
I know all the tricks.
I think you're talking crazy. I also want to say thank you to Marina Sakamoto and her band Shunkin for the use of their song "Curse" off the EP "She Nods," which you used for our opening credits. And it's been 83 days since the SAG strike started, and the AMPTP still sucks.
You should have done the Saw voice for the whole episode.
I should have done this all. That would have been great. I would have been bleeding out of my throat. me switch to this. Saw X.
Oh,
look at it. It's the Two Eyes.
it's the tube eyes that we thought he was gonna have stuff poured into his eyes, but it turns out it wasn't. Sorry, there are kids screaming outside of my window.
No, it's okay. No,
I
They're
know.
wanting.
that's not your window. That's your door. That's a further door inside your apartment.
It's a locked closet. You got me.
Open your windows so that as you explain these movies, unassuming parents will be extra concerned.
Like the editor of Saw 10, who got the police called on him by his neighbors.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, he was editing from home and got the police called on him because of the screaming. And so.
Oh really? I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That was this one.
Yeah.
I mean, Saw 10.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
The director editor, Kevin Greutert, I think, who has been the editor for most of the movies actually. Yeah, Bobby, do you want to try to give like the back of the box summary of Saw 10?
Jigsaw, John Kramer, aka Jigsaw, goes to Mexico for some kind of miracle cure, which ends up being a scam. And then he gets angry.
Yeah. He gets angry.
And then it's payback time. And spoiler, payback's a bitch. And it's best served cold. Like a dead body.
Yeah,
bathroom.
This one had like a more straightforward narrative than some of the other ones, which I actually liked to a certain degree. Like I like that this one sort of I like the setup just because I think it helps you when you get to the crazy shit, or the violent shit. I thought this was great. I thought it was like a real true return to form. I'd love to see more. Where
does this slot into the Saw movies? Because in the timeline, it is confusing.
It's between 1 and 2, so it is post 1. I would imagine this is not long after 1 because he is still moving and grooving. Which by the time Saw 2 rolls around,
agile.
Yeah, by the time Saw 2 rolls around, he's like, Donnie Wahlberg, please help me get some water. Then Donnie Wahlberg's like, all right, Jigsaw, you gotta tell me where my kid is.
There's a cute scene where he's hanging out in Mexico and he's like drawing, because he used to be an architect, spoiler, and he's drawing up the design for the eye key at the beginning of Saw 2, where he's got a cut behind his eye.
Ooh.
But he thinks he's cured, so he rips it out and then he starts designing a house or building.
Yeah.
But then I don't want to spoil. These two haven't seen the fucking movie yet.
Yeah. Well, Daniel's the only one who cares about it. Like we said, we're gonna wait to get into spoilers. We can talk. I think we can talk about the traps. We can't just talk about the end result of them. I.e., like,
yeah.
I think we can talk about the narrative. I just think we shouldn't talk about the sort of big twists and turns of the third act. And then I think we just shouldn't mention the credit scene until we get into spoilers. But I think everything else is fair game. Because I think Daniel's also not he's not like hyper.
Okay, I think I understand what's going to happen.
Yeah,
but I don't want to know the specifics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jigsaw lives.
He's back, baby.
He's back. Baby.
Actually, it'd be crazy if they just alternate universe that he like dies in this one too. Just go big.
Start a whole new timeline. Whatever.
Yeah. Keep it going.
Horror franchise. Fuck it.
Well, having just rewatched the like all of the movies, like there's a really vague sense of time and like how long he was navigating, how long he was like operating, and so I think that they have wiggle room to do. Because, like, when you watch Saw 2, it feels like, at the beginning of Saw 2, it's like, oh, the only thing that's happened is Saw 1. But by the time you get to Jigsaw, he's had, like, 10 other games and have sort of stretched that timeline. And so I think it's fair game to just sort of sorry, I'm burping.
What I like about this movie is you would think, because this takes place before 2, so you would think like if Jigsaw dies in this movie, then all those people who die in the rest of the movies will be saved. So you think you'd be rooting for him to die, but it's the other way around.
Yeah.
You hope that he doesn't. You hope you're cheering for him to live so he can go on to I don't care what he says. He murdered everybody. If you kidnap somebody and they die under your thing, that's murder.
Yeah, that's not going to hold up in a court of law.
Whether you did it directly or not. So that's how. So this guy, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
They committed to that though for so long. This idea of like, I've never killed anybody, and it's like a crazy thing that they still.
They bring it back in this one.
Into like the bigger things. I love it. I love their dedication to the timeline and the moral implications that they commit to.
Yeah, I thought that I feel like at this point, having watched all of them. Again, like a great Saw movie needs like 4 things. It needs 1, like just enough setup so you understand why these people are in the traps, and not just like there's like some movies where they'll have a main trap and you just find out later they like read a document and they were like, oh, I sold a bad house. It's like, what? 2, you need a couple of good traps, which this one has, and then 3 and 4, you need some Tobin Bell and Shawnee Smith, and they're both back in it in full force. Tobin Bell has never, I think is the most he's ever been in one of these. He is the protagonist in a way that he's really kind of never been, almost like an anti-hero.
Like he's the main character. He's never been the main character, I don't think. He's literally, it's like an adventure movie.
Yeah.
Jigsaw.
Yeah. It's great. It's
oh, that's cool. But yeah, usually they're in the traps first, and then through flashbacks. I think I'm just repeating what Connor just said 20 seconds ago.
But yeah, no, you're right. Usually they show through flashbacks.
Through flashbacks, where all of this is all linear.
Mm-hmm. And there's some stuff, especially towards in like the third act, when there is like still a twist and a reveal and stuff. But
all that fun stuff.
Yeah, that became like a staple of the Saw movies. They all have like some crazy twist at the end. Did they keep that? So I've only seen the first 3 Saw movies. Did they keep that consistent in every movie? Because I know there's others with. I know the twist of 4, despite not having seen the film.
There was always a crazy, especially in Spiral, the best one. There's always a crazy twist at the end of all of these movies. It's not like a shit your pants twist in the. I don't know why I keep pointing at this one like it's the new one. This is Saw 3D, which came out.
Just imagine there's a Saw X poster behind Bobby.
I keep pointing at him like you did this or something. He's the what was I talking about?
You were talking about the twists.
Oh yeah. There's a twist at the end of the new one. It's not like a shit your pants.
Yeah,
it's not like the greatest twist, but it's like it's a twist.
Yeah,
it's horror soap opera in the best way. They find a twist that just makes it a challenge for the next one to be written, and I can't wait.
I dig that.
This one is very internal, I will say. I mean, there's technically some stuff you could pick up from that we could potentially talk about when we go to spoilers, but for the most part, like the twists and turns here are internal. You could probably almost certainly you could watch this movie and like understand what was going on without having seen the others. If you tried to watch like Saw 5 without having seen the first 4 Saw movies, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they become, after 3, they become like an episode of a TV show, but you had to wait 12 months to see like each episode, where they literally just leave off where the last one, where they pick up where the last one left off.
Right.
Which one has the best twist?
Probably that first one. I mean,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
the first one's pretty wild. I don't know. I'm a sucker for revisiting things, and so I love the twist in 2. That things are back where we started, and then 4 is my favorite. Just sort of like moment of. realization of how it pairs with 3 and 4.
I wish I could travel back in time and be in the theater, like a packed theater for the ending of 4. Because maybe no one give a shit, but it would also be really funny if people were just like, "Oh fuck."
I like that's when they were both happening at the same time. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's so out. That's one of those twists because you say spoiler for The Sixth Sense, but if you say, "Oh, Bruce Willis was dead the whole time," someone who hasn't seen that movie can be like, "Oh wow, that's like a crazy twist." But then if you say to someone who hasn't seen the Saw movies that like, "Oh, the twist at the end of 4 is that it's taking place at the same time as 3," they'd be like, "What?" Like that means nothing. Like, like why is it a twist?
Enjoys the twist of the first movie the most, just because I know that it spawned 9 sequels, but you could end the whole series right there. There does not need to be a single sequel to that movie. It like kind of does bookend it.
Yeah,
but I also understand why there are 9 sequels.
But
yeah, I get it. That also, well, I guess we'll talk about this in a little bit, Connor, about how like in the first one it takes somebody an hour to finally cut their ankle off. But then after that first movie, it takes people like 20 seconds to fucking start picking at their brain so they can put it
like
into a thing so it can evaporate or their fucking head's gonna be
You have 30 seconds to cut your own dick off, and also all your hands, and also both your legs.
I think about that a lot. Like the first
3 minutes.
Yeah. When the first one came out, I thought it was the scariest movie I'd ever seen. And going back, it's so like you don't see much of anything.
No,
it's like all in your head.
It is way more intense than any of the others because the others become something else. The first one is kind of a different thing. It's similar to I would say almost like the Halloween series, where the first Halloween movie is kind of its own sort of thing, but then it kind of spawned off of that these much more sort of formulaic slasher movies, not discounting putting 3 aside, but like 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all of them. I mean, pretty much. And I think Saw is kind of the same thing. Not that the first Saw is as good as John Carpenter's Halloween, because it is not. But it is definitely, there's something there to that one that's like extra special, I think. That's like still when you watch it, you're like, this is upsetting. This is like truly upsetting and not like a comic book, essentially.
Like its low budget limitations actually kind of work to its benefit to create like more unease within you. It's like Cube meets Seven. Yeah, I know Cube was also like ultra low budget. Mm-hmm. It definitely makes it like more claustrophobic and atmospheric.
Yeah, the biggest issue with the first one is that I think James Wan didn't know how to really direct actors yet. I think I think all the performances in that one are really stiff.
Yeah, and I don't think Lee Winnell was like a trained actor. No. He was just like the writer of the movie. Yeah. He was like, "Hey, I'll be in it too."
Yeah, I'll be the co-lead.
Yeah.
Let's see. Just to finish up talking about the new one a little bit is I really like the aesthetics of the new one, meaning specifically the font design. They retired for the marketing. They still have it, but that sort of Baroque title design with like this all the letters all different and stuff.
They went the Pitchfork 3 or W or whatever.
Yeah, they went with a blockier design. That's actually, I think, a reference to. I'm gonna put it up on screen so people at home can see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna send you guys a link in the chat so you can see what I'm talking about. They, I think they took the title design inspiration from this poster for the original movie. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
I like that, but it also looks really similar to Jaws.
That is true, but
I just realized that
Jaws has a very good title design, so I'm okay with it.
It almost looks like an anagram. It's an anagram for Jaws.
Saws.
Yeah. Yeah, Marcy in the chat says, I remember the original Saw movie being more like a slow burn, and the sequels feel more like a wild ride. And I would agree with that. I also
I don't think the rest of the sequels could be as slow paced every time.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have minded it. I probably would have liked them even more. But I also like the ridiculous, like, hey, let's go check out this year. It's October again. Let's go see this year's Saw movie.
Yeah, I want to bring
to watch somebody have to fucking.
If it's October, it's Saw or something.
Yeah, I kind of want to come back to that if we finish up Saw X thoughts. But
let's go watch somebody have to cut their fingers off and eat them or whatever the fuck they got to do this year. They haven't done yet.
It was really fun watching this one with a pretty packed crowd at the Prime at the one of the premium screens at the Burbank 16. And people, like, when Amanda showed up finally, because they kind of hold her back for about 30 or 40 minutes, like, people like were like excited and stuff. And I know some people are kind of whatever on that stuff, but it's always just fun. It's fun having an audience be like excited for the movie, and excited for what they're saying.
Our crowd was really into it.
Yeah. We got a lot of people, like when the puppet showed up for the first time, everyone got really excited, and it was a fun experience.
Yep, they brought the puppet back.
They did bring the puppet
back.
Him. I did want to share Billy.
They brought back Billy.
I missed him.
Brian couldn't make it. He saw it with us. He had some slight thoughts, and I wanted to share them. He said he enjoyed X. I probably should have shared these earlier because they're more negative than me and Bobby. But he enjoyed X, but it being a real movie actually took away some of what I do enjoy about the Saw franchise, or Saw-chise, as he calls it. But it's a weird thing because some of the stuff I enjoy from the other ones also leads into the worst elements by being super schlocky and lame. But with the new one, it's written well. And he also just sort of, let's see, he said he's kind of good with the Saw franchise. I think it kind of killed his vibe. And I think the thing he didn't like is one thing that they do in this.
It ruined his life.
Yeah, by making it too good.
He's not here because he's dead. His whole world fell apart because this new Saw movies, not like the old Saw movies.
He did the one thing.
He's no longer with us.
The one thing he said was like, basically that one thing that's very different about this movie, and this isn't really a spoiler because it happens like pretty quickly, is unlike in the other Saw movies where John Kramer is sort of hidden from the victims doing it, he's much more like talking to them, and part of this is because the victims know him directly, and they all know their like association with each other, so there's kind of less reason to hide his identity. But he definitely has more face time with the victims while like setting up the traps and stuff. And then he kind of like leaves them alone. And it's an interesting change. I was okay with it mainly because it gave Tobin Bell a lot more screen time, and but yeah, let's
yeah, I liked also the not only him having a bigger part, but like what he goes through, like even as an actor, what he went through like at the end.
Yeah,
filming that must have been fucking awful. I would have been pissed off.
Yeah. Who knows? Well, let's speaking of that, let's get into some spoiler. Yeah, let's do spoilers. Do you want to mute yourself? And then we can just like wave at you.
Leave the conversation for an hour.
All right, so we'll just wave at you or text you or something. And then let me put the spoilers on the screen. Spoilers for Saw X. Yeah, at the end, so the kind of the third act ends up being that like, that they sort of trick the main sort of victim, who's actually the bad guy, into thinking that she's turned the tables on Jigsaw and Amanda by putting them in this trap, but really they were intentionally getting put in this, kind of survivable water, like blood boarding trap, where it's like blood waterboarding them.
Yeah, it's like
where they would switch. They would like switch back and forth. I think that's the original plan. There's a twist to that too, but the plan was to do that, and then she sort of gets like trapped in a different trap, basically, while that's going on. And
you'd have to be there.
You'd have to be there. It's hard to tell. The other twist is that there's Jigsaw befriends a little boy earlier in the movie, and the main victim / bad guy of the movie decides, instead of putting Amanda in the trap with Jigsaw, she's gonna get that boy and do it. And so Jigsaw is like willing to sacrifice himself for the boy, but then the boy ends up sort of allowing himself to take some of it because of Jigsaw befriending him earlier to save Jigsaw's life. And the movie
it's
ends.
hard to explain these.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to explain. The movie, it's funny. The movie ends. I think this is the first time. Most of the movies end with a door closing. This one ends with Jigsaw, Amanda, and the boy opening a door and like leaving the place. Which is kind of a weird, like, interesting.
Off into the bright sunlight.
Yeah.
Was that meant to be open-ended, or are they? I don't know. Are they doing another Saw movie next year?
I think so. I don't know if they'll do it next year. I wouldn't be surprised. If they want to like. I wouldn't mind if they took like more like 2 to 3 years between them, just so they could make them as solid as this one. Because I mean, on Rotten Tomatoes, it has, I don't know if, like, obviously everyone's like, oh, Rotten Tomatoes is corrupt or whatever, but whatever. I'm using it as a metric to judge things. It has like a 85% versus the next highest one has like 50% or something. It's like pretty shockingly well reviewed.
Yeah. Well, I know that like Amanda was already Jigsaw's protege. They could be going down another road of like, the little boy will take it over.
Oh,
they did something like that I didn't see them, but like I understand they did something like that in the new Halloween series.
Yeah, well, he was more like a 20-year-old. He was like
a boy.
Yeah. This was like a 10-year-old or something.
Yeah, I don't.
Jigsaw calls him a warrior after he helps save his life. He's like, "You were a warrior," and gives him a hug. It's a nice little moment.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the two other things I was gonna comment on. Spoiler is when one of the guys has to open his head and like pull, the guy who basically pretended to be the brain surgeon has to pull out a piece of his own brain. Which is what his game is, and I was just thinking about that, like how fucked up, because like he just like they have the brain matter and he gets the forceps and he squeezes it, and I just imagine you would pull that and you would just go like, like your body would just start convulsing or whatever. Yeah. You would.
That one that's another 3-minute one too, which that one should have been at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, he should have gotten 5 minutes on that one. This one behind us was well timed because it's basically his eyes are going to get sucked out of his head unless he breaks all the fingers on his hand, but he doesn't have to do it himself. He has a switch, and each time he turns it, it breaks one of the fingers. So it's a little easier than having to do your own brain surgery.
That is, I remember us speculating on a past episode that we thought there would be like bugs or liquid coming down the tube into his eyes.
Vacuuming is cooler.
I think that would still be, I think that would be cooler than sucking his eyes out.
Oh, okay. See, I liked sucking his eyes out. I thought pulling instead of putting in was a cool. Didn't even think about that, you know.
I guess, yeah. If it were liquid, that would be too fast. I think bugs would be kind of interesting and creepy. Yeah. Maybe just, I hate bugs so much.
He never brings animals into the traps.
Yeah, he's not Dr. Phibes.
Never work with children or animals.
Never murdered anyone. Compassionate to the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last thing is Hoffman shows up in an end credit scene, and has a pretty good little one-liner where he's talking to the guy and he's like, out of all the people in the world you could have scammed, because they're like setting up a trap on somebody else who did was part of the scam. Anyone else you could have picked to scam, you picked John Kramer. I call that epic bad luck. as he's like putting him in.
There was like a pause. There was like a pause.
Reference? Sorry.
Was it a Casablanca? I've never seen Casablanca.
It might have been.
It's like of all the ginger joints in all the world, she walks into mine.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he paused like he was going to say something more creative, but then he just said epic bad luck.
Yeah.
Like, I call that
epic bad luck.
Epic bad luck. Oh, okay.
I liked it. I mean, it's corny as hell and stupid, but it's like
it's just the way that he said it, as if he had like a. I'm like, oh, is he gonna say a Saw thing?
And people were excited about him too coming back, which was fun.
I liked seeing him.
I did too. I've grown a lot of affection for him, even though he is no Amanda. Amanda's a way more interesting character.
Yeah,
he's just kind of an asshole. Yeah. Well, I think we're done talking with Saw X.
I don't know what Jigsaw ever saw in him, other than the fact that he was a detective.
Danny.
Anyway,
do you have something else to say?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Can't remember. The other I don't really have anything to say about any of the other traps.
Yeah, let's move on to the series as a whole. Yeah, I saw the first one when it like the year after it came out. Probably too young to have seen it, and it fucking scared the shit out of me when I watched it for the first time. And but it fascinated me. And then, kind of this is what I was kind of gonna bring up with what you were talking about earlier, Daniel. A couple years ago, I did a rewatch and realized this is sort of like millennials' Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th. Like I totally get why people aren't into it, but I really just like, broadly pop art and specifically slashers. So I think they're a ton of fun, and I think it's cool, the like cultural thing of, being excited about this new horror movie. It's funny to me, especially now as an adult, and like the kind of stuff I like, where it's like, it is kind of funny that this thing that's so graphic became such a sensation also.
I was not a good horror kid. I was very scared of horror movies. Mm-hmm. And when Saw came out, I was 13, and it was like the talk of the town. Everyone in school was finding a way to see it, and everyone talked about it. And so I felt like peer pressured into seeing it. And I remember I waited till the DVD came out. It was like the next Halloween before Saw 2 came out, and I watched it with my friends, and it was horrifying, like the scariest thing I've ever seen. I had nightmares for days. And then the way I would work around it is the DVDs would have the special features of how they did the traps. Mm-hmm. So I waited a year, Saw 2 came out on DVD. I'd watch the behind the scenes, and then I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. I'll watch the movie now. And then 3 was the first one I saw in theaters with a friend's dad took us. And so Saw was like my gateway drug into horror. So for that, it holds a very special place to me, even though when I saw it, I thought it was the scariest thing. Like nothing could top it.
I had nightmares for like a week about the reverse bear trap scene in the first one.
It's so fun to go back to that first one, because it is all about your imagination versus what you see. But that's the one, minus a few traps I think we'll get to, that the things in that stood out to me because they were so visceral in my brain.
Yeah, it's so funny, the commonality. We're all of like similar age, and we all experienced this movie at like the same age pretty much. It's so funny, the commonality that we had with it, because when I first saw when I first viewed the first Saw movie.
The first Saw? They call them the Saw movies because when you seen them, you saw them.
Yeah, Saw 11, Saint is going to be the next one. Yeah. But when I watched the first one, I was just discovering like Kill Bill and The Shining, and like I understood that it was like this really brutal graphic movie that we weren't allowed to see, so of course I had to see it, and I loved it. And so as like the sequels started coming out, I was becoming like an older and older teen for Saw 2 and Saw 3. But then when Saw 4 was out, like I was in college, I was in film school, I was watching like Spike Jonze movies, and I felt like, okay, I've sort of outgrown the Saw movies, for better or worse. Probably a little pretentious of me, but that's kind of where I ended it with the Saw movies. But for a teen, they were there for me. They were great.
Yeah.
They're like a big unifier, I feel like, for even like non-film people. Like it seemed to have like an effect on teenage, especially teenage boys were all about Saw. I think because it was almost a challenge to, can you make it through the movie? I've never once had a reaction to something like I was gonna throw up or seen someone do that, but everyone seems to have everyone claims to have experienced that with something, and it always seems like these are going to be the test for that, though I've never seen it, which is a bummer.
Yeah, it was like a kind of bad. Like you would come into school and be like, "Oh, I saw the new Saw movie," that? And people would be like, "Oh, you could make it through the whole thing."
See, back then I was just like a known pussy, also, so it just didn't matter. I wasn't seeing pussy. Them. Yeah,
there were posters on the walls with your face on them.
Yeah.
Have you seen this pussy boy?
But yeah, I love. So me and Bobby had been rewatching some of them recently. I should just tell this story to immortalize it on one of these, and we were watching Saw 3D, aka Saw the Final Chapter, aka Saw 7, and Tobin Bell's barely in that one, and about halfway through the movie, he hadn't even appeared once. And there's this flashback scene at a book signing of the main sort of victim character, and I turned to Bobby and I'm like, "Hey, like, is Toad Bell even in this one?" And then the camera did a pan up to that shot that's behind Bobby right now of him in that backwards baseball cap. And we probably had to pause it and rewind it because that baseball cap is beautiful. There's another picture that's also great of him like behind the scenes where he's given like a peace sign. It's great.
Is there a video of anybody asking him about that?
I don't know.
Did anybody explain that?
I do know that for Spiral, they brought it back as a bit because in the flashbacks with Chris Rock, he has a backwards hat on too, and so that's become like a joke that if you're playing your younger self and you look different, you just have a backwards hat, and I like that.
I didn't notice that about Spiral, but I don't remember. I saw this in theaters when it came out like 13 years ago, and then I finally rewatched it again with Connor like a month ago. So I don't know how this never stuck with me until I saw it last month. I don't know how I forgot about this.
Do the Blu-rays? I don't know if you watched it on Blu-ray. Does it have a 3D version?
No, we were watching it digitally.
I remember I moved to Chicago for college and went with a bunch of friends to see this. Many of them were not Saw people, but they were like, "Oh, I've heard of that." And I kind of tried to talk them out of it because I was like, "Oh, you can't just drop into this."
Yeah, no.
It doesn't work that way. And it was in 3D, and that was just a magical thing.
Yeah.
Terrible movie, but a magical experience.
One of the worst. I think only Spiral is worse because Spiral just looks so bad.
Spiral at least is trying to be different's not even fair, but
I hear that argument like and I want to cut it in the butt. It's not better than Saw 7.
I think I would rewatch Spiral over Saw 3D.
It was bad. It looked bad. All the sets looked like they were the size of like my bedroom.
That is true.
Chris Rock got the budget of one Horror Nights maze.
There was a solid Saw Horror Nights maze a few years ago, actually.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
It actually made me want to watch the movies that I hadn't seen.
Except they used the scent, and the scent got to me. I was surprised. Like the
rotting
the funeral
corpse
home scent. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm not even gonna I'm super down for more. I have an idea for Call Me. I'm not going to do it on air. I thought this is a little too self-indulgent. I was going to mute myself and have you guys react to what I was going to say, but I have an idea. I think you could bring Amanda back. In the third movie, she is shot in the neck or something, which is movie survivable. Like Jigsaw, you can't bring Jigsaw can't be alive because the fourth movie opens with them pulling his rib cage out of his dead body during the autopsy, which was probably a stupid decision for them to make. And
they lacked the foresight that they'd have 10 more sequels after that. But
there's some stuff you could do with Amanda. I'll save my pitch for the ears of someone who can actually do it do something with it, or I don't know. Maybe let me highlight this and maybe I'll.
And we find Tobin Bell at some convention, and you whisper it into his ear.
And to answer Zark in the comments,
breathe on his neck.
I think the first Saw is the best, and then I think Saw 6 is really great because Jigsaw is woken based, and it kind of has the same structure as this new one. And then I think the new one's great. Right? It's the same guy, yeah. But that guy also did 7. So
yeah.
When he was the editor on most of them, so.
Yeah, I don't think 7's his fault. I think they were like, you have to end this, and they're like, we didn't think about that part.
Yeah. And largely speaking, I think all of the rest of them are solid, and then 7 and Spiral are clearly the
I
nadir.
haven't seen X yet. I'm going to rectify this soon. But my favorite, my buddy had a really great response when the Rotten Tomatoes scores dropped, and I usually don't give any thought to those traditionally, but when I saw it was like an 86 at the time, I'm not sure what it's landed at now. It's 83, still holding strong. When I saw that, I sent it to him, and he was like, "A Saw movie should never be greater than a 3-star." He's like, this is kind of upsetting news. I feel like Saws are 3-star movies.
That was kind of what Brian was saying to a certain degree.
It's such an interesting.
I'm okay with
it. They're mad at how good it was.
Yeah,
like they did too good.
Like, I wanted to go see garbage.
Yeah, like you overachieved.
2-hour movie.
You're like an AP student. Everyone's mad at you.
I just accept whatever Saw throws at me, and I don't really care.
They were the best because I never attempted to defend them. If you were like, oh, those are the worst movies, that is torture porn, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Like, they weren't worth the breadth of an argument, because I was like, I love these things, and I really don't. Trying to explain it makes it weird. There
are things that I love that I'm like, I don't understand why everyone doesn't love it, and then there are things that I love that I'm like, I get it. Yeah. And this is one of those for sure. I get it 100%. Like, absolutely. But yeah. Unless we have any more general Saw thoughts, I thought we should move on.
Saw thoughts.
I just think it's wild that Luke from Gilmore Girls is in at least one of the movies.
I almost conned my wife into watching based on that. And she's like, "How many is he in?" And I was like, "I think 2, maybe 3. I think only 2 though."
Who is he?
Wasn't good enough. He's Officer Strom.
Oh, Special Agent Peter Strom. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he shows up in 5.
He's in. He's 4 and 5.
Oh, okay.
He plays sort of a cat and mouse game with Hoffman, who's sort of the new apprentice in those movies.
Rogue apprentice.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, we killed off the main guy. How do we keep this up? And you're like, actually, there were untold.
What's so stupid about that too is that they literally open 4 with pulling his ribcage out. They didn't end 3 with that. I don't understand why they opened. If they had ended 3 with that, I'd be like, okay, well, it is what it is. But why open the next movie with definitely killing him and not just leave it like, oh, but
because you couldn't have the cool scene where they pull out like the wax covered tape recorder from his stomach.
That is a cool scene. But I think it's time.
Wait, I got it. Before you move on, we have to just round table real quick. What's your favorite trap? I have to know.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I know. I'm going to say Needle Pit from Saw 2.
I mean, maybe this is hackneyed, but like, I think the reverse bear trap is classic. I know that's kind of like saying Pikachu's my favorite Pokemon, but I don't give a shit.
So many. See, when you did your rewatch of the Saw movies, I only joined you in on from 6 and on. I haven't rewatched any of the first 5 Saw movies in over like a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my favorite trap.
I can't believe how long it's been.
Daniel, do you have an answer?
I think the Needle Pit's the one that has always felt the most real somehow, or I was like, what the heck would I do? But the like Iron Cross trap in 3, I think is the one that's just
the rack.
I know there's stuff that's unescapable, the rack, but that one was the one that felt the most like unbelievably brutal and nothing you can do. Just the most hopeless one. I felt like that was like the most hopeless moment of Saw. Like Okay, this sucks.
Yeah, that's a rough one. I would not want to. I want to die in one of the ones where it's like I get shot in the head with a gun.
I want the door. I want the door gun.
Yeah.
The door gun's how I want to go out.
100%. The door
Also,
gun, or I don't know. I'm trying to think of other more okay ones. There's the one where
the seventh one where the dude where it has the brazen bowl.
Yeah.
And it's like the guy's wife. That one seemed unfair.
Yeah.
She didn't really do anything that bad.
Well, that's a whole thing. Well, let's not talk too
sucks.
much about some of these traps because we might want to go to another segment that involves the usage of some of these.
Fair enough.
So I think we're going to move on to
Wait, can you duck so we can see?
welcome to Connor's Wicked Games, sponsored by Jigsaw. Every week, like Chris Isaac, I like to play a little game, and I sent you guys a link on Zoom. I would like you guys to pull up.
All right. Okay. It's like a match game here.
Yeah, it's Jigsaw Match and Grab. So we're going to go around. Each of you is going to get to ask me 3 questions. And by question, I mean you can do an enhance. And I'll tell you, if you ask for a name, I'll tell you why they're being targeted. If you ask for a trap, I'll tell you what the trap is. I'll elaborate on it. And then you get a guess and see if you can make a match. And then we'll go from there. There's a couple other rules. It's a little devious because it is Jigsaw. My dad. Yeah, let's start with who wants to go first? Let's do Alex.
All right. I recognize a couple of these names.
So you get to ask for 3 like clarifications, like 3 pieces of information, like 3 of these that you want to enhance upon.
Okay. I recognize one of the traps for sure, so I'm just going to try and find the person who is in that trap.
Okay.
Who is Seth Baxter?
Abused and murdered Hoffman's sister.
All right. Not who I was thinking of. Michael Tapp.
Published an article about their cop father that got them fired, which led to their death, the cop father.
Okay. Paul Leahy.
Attempted suicide.
Okay. I think that's who I was looking for. Was he in the razor wire maze?
He was, in fact, in the razor wire maze.
In the first movie.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You get that one. I'm trying to think of a way to mark this as being, I know what I can do. Let me open up a second screen that I can actually use to edit instead of what people see. So Paul, I'll do that, and razor wire maze. And then, Alex, why don't you pick a color for me to use to keep track of,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yes.
Apparently I was cut out. Nobody couldn't hear me for like the last 5 minutes. I was just like saying stuff.
No, sorry. Well,
it wasn't anything important.
Pick a color for me to use as your highlight, Alex.
Well, it looks like you used pink for that one, so I can stick with pink.
Okay. Okay, so here's the second part of the game. You get 1 point for that, and you get to hold on to that match for the second part of the game. But you can also sacrifice half a point to make another guess.
Oh, okay. Okay, nice. Hopefully, I probably won't. I don't think I'm going to get really many of these, so I'm just going to stockpile as many points as I can get, I think.
Okay, so you want to pass for now?
Yeah.
Okay, so Daniel, it's your turn. You can ask 3 questions, and
Okay.
I know which one I'm going after.
I'm going to ask a question about Joyce Dagan.
Joyce Dagan. is Bobby Dagan's wife.
That somehow tells me everything I need to know. But I'm gonna hold that, and I'm gonna point out that Detective Allison Carey is the angel trap.
That is correct. You got that one. Absolutely. That is from Saw 3. Oh, I'm using the wrong. Hold on.
Unwinnable trap.
Yeah, an unwinnable trap set up by Amanda.
Amanda fucking up.
Yeah. And what color do you want to use?
Can I be puke green or yellow?
You can be
just a nasty green or yellow, please.
Yes. Where is she? There she is. All right. And technically, you only used one of your questions, so you still have two more you could have asked.
I'll get some intel. Who? Ivan Lansness.
Ivan Lansness. This motherfucker. He was a voyeur and a rapist.
And
a voyeur and a rapist.
Mitch.
Oh, Mitch.
Mitch the bitch.
He sold a faulty bike to Jigsaw's nephew, resulting in the nephew's death. And so you can now make, if you want to sacrifice 1 point, you can make another guess. Or
Seems like a lot of these awful things would have happened if Jigsaw just died earlier. Like a lot of bad things going on around Mr. Kramer. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. to Jay Cray. Okay, is it once per turn sacrifice half, or can you go on like a
combo?
Roll?
You can combo if you want to.
I'm gonna let it go around.
All right.
Everyone deserves a shit.
All right, Bobby. You get 3 clarifications. What people or traps do you want more info about?
Should I say the one that I definitely know?
No, you should save that until after you gather some info.
Okay. Who's Obi Tate?
Oh, Obi Tate, this motherfucker? I'll tell you what he did.
What did he do? What did that fucking...
Obi Tate, for conning people, lying, and also helping Jigsaw kidnap the other victims of the larger game being played.
I thought that was Zep. Wait. Oh. What the fuck? There was another one of those? There's another Zep?
You got 2 more questions. Who you want to know more about? Or what traps do you want to know more about?
Some of these sound familiar. Let me look at the traps. Can I ask questions about who was... Wait, no, that's the whole point.
Yeah, that's the whole point. You can just you can basically ask me to enhance, and I have a set response for each one.
Who's Nina?
Nina was Bobby Dagan's publicist.
Okay, I remember that one. Are these all like the official names of the traps?
According to the Wikia that I used. So you get one more enhance.
Come
on, you gotta just ask me one.
I'll do a Cecil Adams.
Oh, that was
that Harry Potter name.
Drug addict who inadvertently killed Jigsaw's unborn baby. So now you get to make a guess. Try to make a match.
Try to make a match.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Peter Strom. He was in the Water Cube.
That is absolutely correct. What color?
That's the one I knew.
What color do you want your highlight to be?
Lucky blue.
Lucky blue.
Sorry I took so long on that. I don't know why I thought so hard.
No worries. Do you have a do you want to sacrifice half a point to take another turn or take another guess, or do you want to pass to Alex?
Who was the publicist again? It was Nina?
I only give the information when you ask.
Okay, but Nina... I'm trying to figure out what the fuck her... I remember her.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
And even the guy who she was the publicist for was like, "Could you shut up?" But I don't know what the fuck that would be called. The children are back outside. I opened the windows. Now you can hear children playing.
All right, you want to pass for now?
Oh! I'm gonna say Silent Circle. Nina was in the Silent Circle.
100%. You got that one right.
There we go. Okay.
Do you want to sacrifice another half a point to go again?
No, I better not.
All right.
Okay, I promise I'm not gonna be that slow from the rest of it. This really means a lot to me.
Alex, your turn.
I have a lot on the line.
I'm going to ask about a trap. What was the shotgun vest?
Use a flashlight on the vest to navigate a dark area or have the multitude of shotgun shells on the back destroy their spine.
Okay. What was, or who was? Damn it! Who was Brenda?
Oh, Brenda, this bitch. She was a pimp.
Oh, I don't think I made it that far.
I
know you didn't.
I don't remember. I don't remember no female pimp.
And then let's see. What was the cycle trap?
Reach down through a spinning torrent of blades, risking serious injury to pull the brake at the bottom.
Okay. So I remember Abby Tate from Saw 2. I think he was in the furnace.
That is correct. Oop. Yeah, okay.
Abby Tate. You fobbied your last Tate. Wasn't that the one where he climbs into the furnace and they could have just turned it off before? They could have easily
he just wasn't paying attention well enough.
Yeah,
he
wasn't paying attention. That's what you learn from all these Saw movies. Pay attention.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to sacrifice half a point to make another guess, or do you want to pass?
No, I'll let it roll.
All right.
Not a gambling man.
Daniel.
Not gonna let it ride.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. Not feeling lucky.
Okay, I'm gonna burn through a few, and then I'm gonna ask my questions, just for my brain's sake, if that's okay.
Shoot, ask questions later. That's the kind of man Daniel is.
You got to do the questions first. That's the way the game works.
That's part of the game. You didn't listen to the rules.
What about Detective Marv Boswick?
Oh, this guy, the son of a bitch. He lied and railroaded several innocent people.
Okay.
Get two more.
And
I guess you can pass on them if you want to.
What about Fitch? Detective Fitch.
Murdered a man because he was insulted.
What's wrong with that?
And
Andrew Jackson did it. So there's a character called Fitch and there's a character called Mitch.
Yep. What's
Great
Detective
names.
Fitch?
What about? Did someone already ask about Tap? Because I have blanked already. Michael Tap.
That's up to them to share.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go for gold with a few.
Okay.
I think Judge Halden is the pig vat.
Absolutely, that is correct. From
God damn it, that was gonna be my next one.
From Saw 3. So you're gonna combo.
I'm gonna risk some.
Okay, cool.
I'm spooked, but I'm gonna try it.
All right.
I think Seth Baxter is the pendulum trap.
There's 2 Seths.
Correct.
Because that was the Hoffman, another inescapable one, right?
Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me get those out of here. And let me give you your point for that. Okay. And you want to go again?
Cecil, yes. Cecil is the knife chair.
Yep. Absolutely. That's one of his.
Cecil Adams, the darkest wizard in the wizarding
Cecil
world.
Adams. Because he caused like the miscarriage, right? I like to say these facts because I just want to watch Alex try to comprehend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the one who caused the miscarriage in the flashbacks in 5.
Who here hasn't accidentally caused a miscarriage, though?
He's trying to get some drugs. Ivan Lansness
Shouldn't be a death
is,
sentence. I mean, for me,
the bedroom trap. Is that the?
Mm-hmm. That's the thing that he sets. That the Riggs, the SWAT team officer from the first 2 and 3, he's like being forced in the 4th one to set up.
Okay.
Let me hold on. You got that. And then do you wanna keep...
Yeah, I'm gonna try my luck with. I'm confident in 2 more. Joyce Dagan is the Brazen Bull.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
You even brought that up earlier.
Yeah, that was gonna be that was the only other shred of knowledge I possibly had.
yeah, that one was fucked up because she didn't even know that her husband was full of shit.
Yeah, that makes me sad.
It's such a cruel way to die for no reason. Was that under Hoffman or was that Jigsaw?
That would have been Hoffman
before he died. Oh, okay, fucking Hoffman.
Brenda is the scalping seat.
Yep, correct.
I don't like that one. That one looks unpleasant.
I don't even know how you knew that one, to be honest. Is that one?
She's
that
just
one...
the only. I knew that there's a woman in the scalping seat. She's the only woman that was left.
It's sort of like
scalping.
My toss up here is that who I associate with one of them is not listed, and I'm confused. Okay, and then
I may have been playing a devious game.
Based on your description of Detective Marv Boswick, my assumption is that he is the subway trap.
Correct.
With your clever wordplay.
That he railroaded. Yeah, that's the probably the best trap in Spiral.
If I get it wrong, do I lose a point? Or I'm losing a point by trying.
You sacrifice the half point, then you make the guess. And so if you get it wrong, you just get passed on. So
okay, I think Mitch is the cycle trap because I don't remember there being a detective in that portion of Jigsaw.
Yeah, Mitch is the one who sold the shitty bike. So that's why he got the cycle trap.
Is cycle the...
That's the Jigsaw one from Jigsaw. That one's probably the best one from that movie, I think. That's pretty solid trap.
And
I guess technically now you have a 50-50 shot.
Well, that's okay. I think
you cleaned up on this.
But my confusion.
Yeah, where did this come from?
Yeah. I thought this was going to take way longer.
It's the same with Star Wars planets and species. You asked me about certain parts of school, couldn't tell you, but I can name a bunch of those. Because I don't. Okay, the shotgun vest is confusing me because I associate it with the doctor from 3. She's not on here.
Thinking.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah,
she's not a detective.
The collar around her neck.
So that's where. So my guess is that Fitch is the bad officer in the scary finger thing in Spiral. Finger trap. Detective Fitch. Finger trap.
You are correct.
I just watched Spiral. I don't know if I can remember that.
Wasn't there another finger trap in 3 or 4 where they have to cut their webs of their fingers and collect the blood in a...
Oh, in 5 they put it in and saws it down the middle.
That was one of them.
There was also a finger thing at the beginning of the new one.
So
I was really confused.
obviously by default you can.
Yeah. So
I'd like to make a guess.
Okay, so here's I was playing. You're gonna pass it or?
I'll pass it. Someone else can.
Okay, so Bobby gets that one.
I'm gonna say Michael Tapp. He was in the shotgun vest.
Wow, you're right. So Michael Tapp in the shotgun vest is from Saw 2: Flesh and Blood, the video game.
Oh my god.
A devious scheme I played.
And is it different? It's different than. Is that woman's name Lynn? I hate that.
This is a different thing. It's like shotgun things. It's like the same idea from Saw 3, but it's like lined up down his spine on his back. And there's like there's a part of the game you're playing Danny Glover's son. And there's a part of the game where you have to put on the vest because it has a light and you have to navigate through this like really dark area, essentially.
Is the game good?
I've heard the first game is interesting and fun and the second game sucks.
Okay.
But that I think at a certain point Konami wanted to or whoever published that or developed it wanted to make it like their new Silent Hill or something, and then
It could have been cool.
But we have I'm gonna take us back to the main. Oop, I started the intro on accident. I forgot to turn it off. So let me select all of this. And
So wait, the game is David Tapp. That's Danny Glover's character's son.
Yeah, the second game. The first game is Danny Glover's character.
I didn't know Danny Glover's character that son was in the other movies.
I don't think he's in the movie.
He's not in the movies.
He doesn't die, right?
Oh, he's in the video games?
He does.
He gets kind of incapacitated in the first Saw, implied to die, but it's like it's not a bad enough like death.
He gets his throat cut and he gets shot, right?
Yeah. He gets his throat cut directly by Jigsaw. He has
I remember he survives that because he has like the thing. Then he gets shot by
into invisible string where shotguns are hanging above him, and they shoot down into him.
I kind of remember that.
So there's a short second round to this, and it's going to be easier for some of you than others. You guys can hold and just take whatever points you have. Alex, you have 2. Robert, you have 2.5. Daniel has 6. Or you can attempt to put the matches you made in chronological order, and which however many you have in the correct slot, it then becomes a multiplier. So if you get none of them right, then you get 0 points. But if you get a couple of them right, but I think Bobby and Alex, you guys should definitely do it because
I got 3 right.
Yeah, let's do this one at a time. Let's do it with Alex. So you only had 2. You had Paul Leahy in the Razor Wire Maze and Obi Tate in the Furnace.
Yes, and actually
that's easy.
Yeah, the Paul Razor Wire was the first movie, and Obi Tate was Saw 2.
And so that's the order you're gonna put them in.
Yes.
Okay, you get a 2 times multiplier and go up to 4 points.
Hey.
Bobby, you got, and let me read them off of this. You got Special Agent Peter Strahm in the Water Cube, Michael Tapp in the Shotgun Vest, and Nina in the Silence Circle.
Michael Tapp was the video game, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the fuck did that come out?
You can also just hold.
Continuity.
Do I have to say the name of the Saw movies?
No. Just the order that these 3 things happened in. Okay, and I'm counting.
What were they again?
It was Nina in the Silent Circle, Michael Tapp in the Shotgun Vest, and Special Agent Peter Strahm in the Water Cube.
Strahm was first, and then the Silent Circle trap was second. And then the video game was third?
Unfortunately, none of those are in the correct order because the video game was first, so you go to 0 points, Bobby.
When did the video game come out?
First.
It chronologically it happens first because he's still like there's like a scene where he's like moving and grooving.
Oh, you're talking chronologically, not when they're released.
Oh, okay. Do you want to try? You want to give a different guess?
Well, I just thought I thought we meant like released. When you said chronological,
The chronological in the universe.
Well, I still don't know when the shotgun vest happened. I don't know anything. I'll just take my loss.
It happened early. And then Daniel, technically Daniel, there's no reason for you to do it other than to stunt, because you get the gold medal if you don't. And so let me.
Can you just tell me?
Yeah. Let me eliminate the ones that they got. Because
I just had to get the fucking video game answer.
That was a good one. That threw me for a loop. I was like, who the shotgun thing? I can only think of the doctor.
Let's see.
Now I feel like I have to watch a Let's Play of Saw games so I can understand Saw 10.
Are those any good?
I don't know.
There's only one Saw game?
There's two.
There's two.
Fucked up, man. Fucked up.
It is fucked up. It's fucked up the things that happen.
Probably not even canon. This is bullshit.
Let's see which.
I guess it doesn't matter if it's canon.
Does Tobin Bell do Jigsaw in the games too?
I think so. Yeah.
Nice. I'll play him.
Yeah, he did it from his living room.
He just did like this. He had a Yeti mic and.
Yeah, he was just sitting in a robe in his desk.
All right, these are the ones that were just yours that are left.
Wow, this is tough.
And if you want me to remind you which name pairs with which trap, you can. I'll tell you.
I think I know. Okay. I'm just gonna move. I'm not gonna commit. Can I access this? No, it's okay. I'm not going to commit to it. Remind me never mind. That's now trying to remember if the reveal in Jigsaw is that that the current people were in the past, or if it was this.
Also, you have several people from 3 and 4.
Yeah, and that's okay. So like. That's like the scalping seat and the angel trap are two separate, but I think isn't Riggs sad about the death of Carrie, and that's when his thing starts?
Who knows?
Oh my god. And I don't remember if the finger thing was before Subway. Is the subway trap the opening of Spiral?
Who knows?
Isn't the finger thing? Jesus. I want to win, so I don't want to do it. But can I?
Do you want to abstain from actually doing it? But do you want to attempt? I think you know what?
Is that shitty though?
I think that's kind of shitty. I think you have to risk it if you want to try to stunt on them. Well, here's what I'll say. If you get one of them in the right place, you still win. You know what I mean? Because it's
I think I'm confident in one.
Okay. If you get a single one right, you will still win.
Okay. The first one is the knife chair.
Okay, just keep going through it. Now I'm keeping track of how many you have right.
I think it's knife chair. And then I think it's knife. Okay, there's knife chair. Knife chair. Bedroom trap. Angel trap. Pig vat. Scalping seat. Pendulum trap. Brazen bull. Cycle trap. Subway trap. Finger trap.
You got 4 of them right. So you end with 24 points. The correct order, you got thrown off, so you're right, Cecil Adams was the first one, but then it's Mitch, the cycle trap.
Okay, so the reveal is that one does take place.
That's the past one, yeah.
Okay.
And then it was Seth Baxter in the pendulum trap, because
that's how Hoffman gets caught.
Exactly, yes. And then it was angel trap, scalping seat, bedroom trap, pig vat, and then the others are kind of obvious: brazen bull, subway trap, finger trap. But you still got it. You get the gold medal. Alex gets a silver because you got 0 points, Bobby. You do not get any medals. You lose. Good day, sir.
Second time I've lost.
I'm disappointed. What was the guy in 4? His name's like Art something. Art Blanc.
Art
Vandalay. Art. There's a character whose name is Art Blanc, and he's like in a mausoleum.
You're mad that he wasn't on here. I
just think that was always the funniest Saw name to me.
I avoided characters who were like in a trap where there were multiple people, because I thought that would throw it off a little bit too much. But yeah, I guess it's time to wrap up. Does anybody want to take Edwin's segment?
What does he do?
He shows off cool things that he has. And he gets a spotlight on him.
I have a.
It's not showing up, but I have a Cormac McCarthy book here. I'll just show it to the camera.
Well, Edwin's bit was that he doesn't watch the movies that we're talking about. Well, I just minimized zoom, and I'm trying to get it big.
Oh, nice.
I got a fan. Oh, I did get a new. Here you go. I got a new hard drive. Nice. I had to have it for a job, and I thought it looks cool.
That's nice. That's
I'm
nice.
2 for 0 on the. Am I muted?
No,
you got the gold on the Weekend at Bernie's episode.
That's true.
So you're 1-0. So
I have one spotlight. Let me drag her over here. She's asleep. Come here.
Wait, I won the Weekend at Bernie's? I thought Marcy won the Weekend at Bernie's.
No, you got it.
This is my spotlight. It's Kevin's 5th birthday today.
Never mind.
Happy birthday,
5.
Kevin.
Happy birthday, Kevin Smith.
And she got a piece of she's falling asleep.
Yeah, she looks very
sweet
sleepy.
Potato. She got a piece of strawberry and sweet potato cake.
That cake be hitting right now. She's fucking.
Yeah, she good.
Looks like she's out.
It's a tough day. Yeah. It was hot.
He looks how I feel right now.
But yeah, I guess let's just go to anything else. Let me clean this up a little. We got anything else they want to shout out or talk about? I know with you, Daniel, I wanted to talk about the fucking bullshit. Disney, this is the first time they've ever made me actually mad about Star Wars. They've retconned jizz music into jazz music.
It is. It's my favorite thing to target that they would do this to us. The Cantina Band famously plays jizz music, and Disney said no.
It's jazz music now. Thumbs down, Disney.
Much like Han shooting first, it will not stand. The fandom will prevail. There's one thing Star Wars fans are good at. It's being prevailing.
Oh yeah. No, only assholes will call it
They've been through a lot.
Yeah.
They're the real victims of the world.
Yeah. But in this case, I agree with them. Bring back jizz music. Take back jizz music. I'm tired of this.
I didn't even know about jizz music.
I was going to say Google it. Google it, but carefully. Star Wars jizz music. And
even that search. Yeah, even that might yield some dangerous results.
It's the music. It's the style of music in the way that we have jazz and rock and roll and hip hop. Yeah. It's the style of music that the people in the cantina and A New Hope. They're playing jizz music, and that's been a thing for like decades or whatever. And they just recently retconned it to being jazz music because they're embarrassed about the jizz. Bob Iger stole my jizz.
I just want to point out, I showed a group of friends Spookies last weekend incredible. We put it on as we'll have this on while we hang out, and it quickly became we're all watching this very intently, and everyone's reaction to the farting Muckman was, I should have had a video. I should have been videoing it. It was beautiful. Just utter confusion, chaos, and cackling.
Yeah. Look at
his music just sounds like Roaring Twenties music, like Nucky Thompson times.
I feel like George Lucas
when
looked at
Nucky
it,
Thompson
like,
listened to it back in the 20s.
I'll change one word, one letter.
Music.
I mean,
yeah, George Lucas didn't know jizz.
They chose the most unfortunate noun they can go with.
Yeah,
made it jizz
got me
music.
second guessing. Did the word jizz, as it currently stands, not mean the same thing when George Lucas made Star Wars?
I meant to say vowel.
Yeah.
Did I say noun? Oops, I fucked that joke up.
That's fine.
I said noun instead.
Connor can fix it in post.
My bad.
I'll fix it. But yeah, I want to.
I'm wearing my hot dog shirt and maybe, and so I'm exhausted.
I want to thank Brian Robert for composing our outro. I want to say find us on at CinemaCurse666, Instagram and TikTok. We're also at CinemaCurse at Gmail. Is that the kind I got? If you want to like write in with, say hi. I don't know. And if you like it, share it with people. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Tell your mom about it. Say I got this great new show for you to watch. Yeah, next week, Haunted Mansion special. Just kidding. Oh, Bobby's fading away as I do my outro. He was a ghost the whole time. Oh, hold on, I gotta. It's the end of a Saw movie. Oh my god. But no, we're gonna do probably. We'll see. It's not getting very good reviews, but I'm going to watch it. I'm going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about the new Exorcist movie and David Gordon Green's pretty mediocrely received, even though I kind of like them, Halloween movies. And so we'll see how it goes, I guess. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining. And God bless. Fading out Jigsaw.
God bless.
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Good night. Or goodbye.